This is how we heat the building in the wintertime. This is a temporary fan coil that has a high-powered electric motor on it that we generate steam from our power plant. Comes over about 7.5, 8 pounds of steam that goes through the coil systems themselves, and then we adjust these for directional for the air, and the fan actually blows the hot air down the hallways and distributes throughout the building. This is the way we do our temporary heat in the wintertime, because it can get pretty cold in here. Right now we haven't had to use it. We're into early November, and we've been very fortunate that we haven't had any cold weather to speak of. The temporary electric is basically, they're just 100 amp service breakers, and we have another 200 amp in other locations where we're using heavy electric. Basically, they're just circuit breakers that we can turn on and off at night. We have temporary lights running from every one of these, plus the contractors can also drop their utility service cords to these areas and get power to put in studs and things like that. All the steam comes from our power plant located on 7th Street in Tippecanoe, and it's shipped over here via a tunnel, and we've got it temporarily connected in these 2-inch lines from the tunnel that goes directly back to the steam lines themselves. This room is basically for the graduate student bullpen area. We have 6 of these large rooms on the southeast side of the building and the southwest side of the building. This one is the graduate bullpen. The others will be used as classrooms and dean suites and faculty lounges and gathering places. We're putting HVAC units in these units that will thermostatically control from this area. Right now they're in the stages of final rough-in, and they're putting the utilities in. You can see they have the drywall in, and it'll be finished probably within the next week or so. Asbestos abatement was done prior to the contractor coming into this building. We had about an 8-week program that the asbestos people come in, abated everything. You see some large holes in the walls that they just pounded out to get to the pipes behind the wall. And we have found out through the demo there was a little bit of asbestos missed, so we'd have to shut the project down in that area, have it abated, and then they continue to work. All the stairwell areas will be left primarily the way you see them right now. We're going to dress up the plaster, repair any problems there, take a lot of the exterior run electrical work and make it integral, so you won't be seeing that. The glazed brick will stay as they are. The terrazzo flooring and the stairways will stay as they are. They're going to be modified to the point that we're going to bring them back to the luster that they once had. The handrails will be modified to show the period look as well. So the stairwells will pretty much stay the way they were back in 1938. The archways at the entrance of the hallways after you leave the stairwells or go down the stairwells are the original from the original building. The areas that protrude down that we're getting ready to cover up were the original skylights, and they offer both light in the hallways during the day, plus they were functional. They could open up and allow ventilation. They'd open up the bottom floors and open up these, and we'd have a natural draft throughout the building to keep it cooler throughout the summer or the fall. This area is a typical suite of offices for faculty members and support staff. The 2 outside leading in from the hallway are larger offices. They have window lights in them that allow light to come through from both directions to give you less of a closed-in feeling. The rear offices are smaller offices, but they do have full access to windows. The one on the left down here is unique to this building. It's a planetarium or a greenhouse area. It's unique to this building. It's attached to the outside, but the foundation comes from underneath. This is the planetarium or greenhouse. It's a relatively small office, but this makes it much more spacious. We're redoing the entire area. We've taken out the steam lines. This area will go back in with drywall paneling underneath. It'll go back in with new framework and new glass. It's all going to be operable. We have new French doors here, and it'll be finished with the same type of decor that is on the office that joins it. It is very structurally sound. It doesn't look in too good a shape right now, but once refinish this has been completed, it's going to be probably the nicest office on campus right now. The classrooms, the offices, almost every area is controlled by a VAV box, which allows you to control the temperature. We have a thermostat on the wall, so if someone likes it 65 degrees in there, they can achieve that. If somebody likes it 80 degrees in there, they can achieve that. And the VAV box is connected to our air handling systems that supply from our power plant from our steam. It also supplies chilled water, and they blend those two together to get a tempered air from what you've set on your thermostat. So it's going to be probably one of the more comfortable places on campus once everything the bugs are worked out. Johnson Controls is our controlling entity here that puts a thermostat on the wall and allows you to set it whatever temperature you like best. It works out really nice. You don't have just a whole area that is hot, the whole area is cold. The third floor is either going to be very, very hot in the wintertime or very chilly in the summertime. So that's just one of the things that we try to work out where everybody can have their own temperature zone. It has a certain percentage of outside air mixed in with the tempered air, so you're always going to have fresh air coming into the building. This is a typical large classroom, holds about 40 students. This classroom will be equipped with a large projection screen, overhead projector, and a teacher's podium where the teacher can control the lights and the video, all kinds of data from their podium. It also is equipped with about 14 in-floor data and electrical outlets where no student will be more than 6 feet away from an electrical supply. This room will not have data connections, however it will be wireless. We only have 3 in this building that will have data and electrical, but everybody will have electrical. This part of the building is the second floor. It is called Leadership Hall. It's to honor new cutting ideas on education and past administrations. The ceiling area that you see down at the end of the hallway there is the ceiling will be arched like that throughout the building in all the corridors, and it'll have pendant light fixtures to give it more of the period look that it had. The building never had arched hallways when it was built, but we're putting that in as a kind of added bonus to keep it in the period look the way it was. Leadership Hall has 2 large conference rooms across from it. The office space on the left is for the staff. Across the hallway, they will be able to look out through a large glass enclosure to the atrium. This is the atrium area. It is in the stages of steel erection. We have some of the steel here. We have all the foundations prepared to accept the steel. They will be starting to set the steel very shortly. This is going to be the focal point of the building, as it is the main entrance into the courtyard and into our theater or our auditorium area. This area will have a terrazzo floor and trimmed with limestone. This area will also have multi-levels that you can come out of the restaurant area to the left and walk into the atrium area down below, or you can walk straight across and go into the theater area, which is directly across from us. The atrium will be 72 degrees all year round. It has 9 large skylights that are 30 feet long and about 18.5 feet wide. They are at angles, so they have very large sections of glass that's going to make this area look like it's out in the open, but will be controlled by our large HVAC conditioning systems. We have irrigation systems set up down there in order to have plants and trees to grow. We had 4 different varieties of trees that was not indigenous to this area. We had a southern magnolia tree that would not survive in this area, but because it was enclosed, there was enough heat and the wind did not get to it. Each one of those concrete pads, they will hold the superstructure, and the parapet wall that we build on top, that's what the beams actually will actually rest on. The only way that we can get in and out is through that small opening down there. So the equipment that we had in here was like mini excavators and small pieces of equipment that could actually go down that hallway. Okay, this area is the Dean's Suite. The Dean's office is what we're looking at now. They can walk directly from their office to the unique conference area in front of the building that is built out. The Dean's secretary will be next to that conference room, and this for the most part is the reception area. The Dean's support staff will be to the left of this area, and throughout down the hallway there's 4 offices with some storage rooms, file cabinets, and copier room to go along with this. The entire building, as you can see, is comprised of steel studs, and those studs are recycled steel. They have the dimpling effect on them, which means that they have been recycled, which saves trying to stay as green as we can on these jobs, and utilizing the cost savings to enhance other areas of the building. We actually have 2 murals. One of them are on the entranceway as you come in. This is the mural. It went from this side all the way over to this side, kind of depicting Utopia to Armageddon, actually. These are 3 classrooms together that were in the early stage of rough ends. The stud walls have been set to separate the classrooms. The electrical is being run right now. The mechanical and the plumbing have started. The sprinkler system will probably begin later on during this week. And we are in this early stages of rough end. The next stage will be insulation, and we'll put some drywall on the walls and start framing those areas in that have specialty like a cabinet or something like that. Those will be framed in after this initial layout is complete. These are really nice sized classrooms. They're not the largest. They accommodate anywhere from 23 to 35 students. They also will have the in-floor boxes that are in the other classrooms that we've already looked at. They just don't have as many because they don't have as many students. They do include a projection overhead projector and a screen and a podium that the professor can illustrate anything from that podium. They can control all the lights just like in the other classrooms. This is our auditorium. This is another focal point of the building. As you can see, it's a nice area, but it has been abused. It's been left open for a long time. We've had some water damage, substantial water damage. And this area is going to go back in. We've removed 660 seats and we're going back in with 445 new seats. The auditorium has a balcony area and of course the stage area. We're going back and refurbishing all the woodwork and all the drywall and all the plaster to come back to its original period look. We are having the new seats installed to the balcony and for this area, the more comfortable seats than what they had back in the 1938 area. The stage itself will be pretty much the way it is as you see it now. We are going to refurbish the woodwork in front of it. The orchestra areas will be to either side of the stage area. The stage itself will actually increase by about 28 feet. We're going to take it further back. We're going to knock the back wall out now, take it back further. We're going to provide some rehearsal areas and dressing areas to each side of the stage. Then we have a service elevator that will be on to the left side of the stage that will be able to bring equipment and props in. We're also going to make a 30-foot high door by 12-foot wide in order to bring scenery and stage gear in.